I bet you didn't know there are towns in Australia so isolated the nearest neighbor could be hundreds of kilometers away. And sometimes the mail arrives by plane. G'day guys, Mike here. Today, we're venturing into a world that's as vast as it is mysterious. A place Aussies call the Great Aussie Nowhere. Picture the entire continental US, but with just 26 million people, most of them hugging the coasts, leaving the vast interior almost empty. It's a land where the cities cling to the edges, and the middle is a sea of red earth and silence. In fact, Australia is almost the same size as the US, but with a population smaller than Texas. Over 85% of Aussies live within 50 kilometers of the ocean, leaving the heart of the country wide open and wild. The outback covers nearly 70% of the continent, but less than 5% of Australians call it home. That's Australia, a land where distance rules everything, and isolation is a daily reality. Out here, the horizon is so far away, it almost feels like you can see the curve of the earth. The outback is so remote, there are places where the nearest neighbor is hundreds of kilometers away. Some mail is still delivered by small planes, and kids attend school over the radio or internet. In fact, the School of the Air, founded in 1951, connects children across thousands of kilometers. Imagine your classroom being a crackling radio signal or a satellite link. Today, we're heading into the heart of that emptiness, to towns that survive in the middle of nowhere. These are places where the postie might arrive by plane, and the local nurse could be the only medical help for hundreds of kilometers. These places aren't just dots on a map. They're lifelines for cattle stations the size of small countries, and for people who thrive on solitude and self-reliance. Some stations are so big, they use helicopters to round up cattle, and a single fence can stretch for hundreds of kilometers. Here, isolation isn't a lifestyle trend. It's a skill. You learn to fix anything with fencing wire and a bit of ingenuity. And you know the value of a good yarn over a cold beer at the only pub for miles. Locals swap stories of epic road trips, wild weather, and the time the only pub in town ran out of beer for a week. Out here, you learn to make do, improvise, and look out for your mates. There's a saying, if you break down, don't panic. Someone will come along, eventually. You fix your own car, handle emergencies solo, and build community with the handful of people around you. The local footy team might have to borrow players from the next town, and everyone chips in when there's a crisis, be it a bushfire, a flood, or just a busted generator. The sense of camaraderie is legendary. If you break down, a stranger will stop to help, no questions asked. It's just the outback way. There's a quiet pride in surviving, and even thriving, where the land is as tough as the people. So buckle up. We're about to explore the most beautifully, terrifyingly isolated towns in Australia. Let's hit the road. Out here, the journey is half the adventure, and the road can stretch for hours without a single bend. Out here, every journey is an adventure, and every town has a story. Welcome to the Great Aussie Nowhere, where the land is ancient, the distances are epic, and the people are unforgettable. First stop, Birdsville, Queensland, perched on the edge of the Simpson Desert. This tiny outpost has been a beacon for adventurers, drovers, and dreamers since the late 1800s, when it was founded as a customs post for cattle crossing the border from South Australia. Here, the red dust settles on everything, and the horizon seems to stretch forever. Population? About 100. Everyone knows everyone, and their business. In a place this small, stories travel faster than the wind, and legends are born around every corner. The locals are a mix of old cattlemen, artists, and newcomers chasing the romance of the outback. The Birdsville Hotel is the town's beating heart. Pub, post office, meeting place, and lifeline. Built in 1884, its thick stone walls have weathered dust storms, floods, and the relentless outback sun. Inside, the bar is lined with hats and boots left behind by travelers who never made it back. Some say the pub is haunted by the ghosts of drovers who perished on the long cattle drives, their stories whispered on the wind. Once a year, the Birdsville races transform this sleepy town into a wild outback festival, swelling the population to thousands. For 2 days, the desert comes alive with laughter, music, and the thunder of hooves, a tradition that's been running since 1882. The pub becomes the epicenter of celebration, with punters, jockeys, and travelers swapping tales late into the night. But most days, life here is defined by distance. The nearest hospital? A 680-kilometer drive. Supplies arrive by truck, and every delivery is an event. The pub's cold beer and hearty meals are a welcome reward for those who've braved the endless roads. You rely on the Royal Flying Doctor Service for emergencies, and you think twice before taking risks. The RFDS is more than a service. It's a lifeline, connecting Birdsville to the outside world. The pub's walls are covered with thank you notes and photos from grateful locals and travelers whose lives were saved. Mobile reception is patchy, so you actually talk to your neighbors. Community events like the annual Bronco branding or the quirky Birdsville Bakery's famous curried camel pies bring everyone together. At the pub, stories are currency, like the tale of the Birdsville track streaker who once ran naked through a dust storm and became a local legend. Life strips back to basics, endless sky, red earth, and a handful of tough locals. Here, resilience is a way of life, and humor is the best currency. The pub's walls are covered in signatures, jokes, and tall tales, each one adding to the legend of Birdsville. It's a rhythm set by sun and seasons, not screens and deadlines. The weather can change everything in a heartbeat. One year, the town is cut off by floodwaters. The next, it's parched and waiting for rain. The pub becomes a refuge in both drought and flood, a place to wait out the storm together. Here, survival means community, resilience, and a sense of humor. Nights are spent under a sky ablaze with stars, sharing stories that have been told for generations. Some say if you listen closely, you'll hear the old drovers' songs drifting on the breeze. Birdsville isn't just remote, it's a world apart. Its isolation has bred a unique spirit, where every face is familiar and every stranger is a friend in the making. The pub is the first place newcomers are welcomed and the last place they say goodbye. And that's exactly why people love it. Whether you're a local or a visitor, Birdsville leaves its mark, a place where the outback's heart beats loudest. The pub's guest book is filled with messages from around the world, each one a testament to the magic of this isolated spot. Onward to the next outpost. Where the road is long, the stories are endless, and the spirit of the outback lives on. But for those who've sat at the Birdsville bar, the legend of the pub in a puddle of dust will never fade. Next, we head south to Coober Pedy, South Australia, the opal capital of the world, and one of the most unusual towns on the planet. But how did this remote outpost become a subterranean wonderland? The story begins in 1915, when a teenager named Willie Hutchison stumbled upon opal while searching for water with his father's gold prospecting party. Word spread fast, and soon fortune seekers from all over the world arrived, braving the harsh outback in hopes of striking it rich. Here, summer temperatures soar past 45 degrees Celsius, so locals live underground in dugouts carved from sandstone. Early miners quickly realized that the only way to survive the relentless heat and freezing nights was to dig in, literally. Today, more than half the town's residents still call these cool, quiet dugouts home. Above ground, you'll spot mailboxes shaped like spaceships and cars half buried in the dust, a nod to the town's offbeat sense of humor. The whole town is subterranean. Homes, churches, shops, even bars and art galleries. Some dugouts are so luxurious, they have swimming pools and chandeliers. Locals say the temperature underground stays a comfortable 22 degrees year-round, no matter how scorching it gets outside. Imagine celebrating Christmas in July, deep below the desert, with neighbors from all corners of the globe. Coober Pedy is home to over 45 nationalities, making it a true melting pot. Above ground, it's a lunar landscape of mine shafts and dust. Below, it's cool and quiet. Locals say you can walk for kilometers underground without ever seeing the sun. But life here isn't without its challenges. Ventilation is crucial, and every dugout needs a network of pipes to keep fresh air flowing. The town's surface is dotted with warning signs and fences, a reminder that one wrong step could land you in an abandoned shaft. People come from everywhere, chasing opal riches and a Wild West dream. Legend has it, fortunes have been made and lost overnight, with some miners striking opal just meters from their front door. One old-timer tells of finding a priceless fire opal while digging a new room for his kitchen. But for every lucky strike, there are stories of heartbreak, miners who spent decades searching, only to come up empty-handed. Coober Pedy's frontier spirit is legendary. Everyone's got a story of luck or loss. Some say the town is haunted by the ghosts of miners who never left their claims. In the underground pubs, you'll hear tales of mysterious lights flickering in abandoned tunnels, and the opal fever that keeps people digging long after hope should have run out. Hollywood loves it too. Mad Max and Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, filmed here, drawn by the otherworldly landscape. Locals still tell stories of Mel Gibson wandering the streets in costume. The town's unique look has made it a favorite for filmmakers, and sometimes residents are cast as extras or help build movie sets. But this isn't just a movie set. It's a testament to human ingenuity. The town even has an underground hotel and a golf course where players carry a piece of turf to tee off. There's even an underground Serbian Orthodox church, hand-carved by volunteers, with stained glass windows that glow in the dim light. When the heat became unbearable, they didn't give up. They dug in. Noodling, searching for leftover opals in mine tailings, is a favorite local pastime, and sometimes a lucky noodler finds a gem worth thousands. Kids grow up learning to spot the telltale glint of opal in the dust, and families often spend weekends together sifting through piles of rock. Kuba PD is proof that with grit and creativity, you can thrive anywhere. The annual Opal Festival brings the whole town together for quirky competitions and wild celebrations. Think wheelbarrow races, opal cutting contests, and even a Best Dugout Award. It's not just a town, it's a solution. Some say it's the only place where you can sleep, shop, and pray, all without ever seeing daylight. Residents joke that you can go days without sunscreen, but you'll never escape the red dust. And it's pure outback genius. In Kuba PD, the real treasures aren't just the opals. It's the stories, the legends, and the people who call this underground wonderland home. Against all odds, they've built a thriving community beneath the desert, where every tunnel tells a tale. Let's keep moving. Welcome to Inaminka, South Australia. Population 12. This isn't just a town. It's a lifeline for a vast, empty region where the rules of survival are written by the land itself. Out here, the consequences of running out of petrol are more than just a delay. They can be a matter of life and death. Out here, running out of petrol isn't just inconvenient, it can be deadly. The next fuel stop, 475 kilometers away. That's why every trip is a mission and every kilometer counts. There are stories of travelers who underestimated the distance, only to find themselves stranded for days, rationing water and waiting for help. The Inaminka Hotel is everything: pub, store, petrol station, and social hub. If you need fuel, supplies, or just a story, this is the place. Locals recall the tale of a couple who ran out of fuel just 30 kilometers from town. They walked for hours in the midday sun, only to be found dehydrated but alive by a passing road train. History runs deep here. Burke and Wills perished nearby, a stark reminder of how unforgiving this land can be. Even today, travelers have been stranded for days after misjudging their fuel, rescued only by passing locals or the rare road train. As one local puts it, the desert doesn't care if you're prepared or not, but we do. Survival tip: always carry extra fuel, water, and food. A satellite phone or emergency beacon can be a literal lifesaver. Mobile coverage is almost non-existent. Locals recommend never relying on a single jerry can. Double up and keep your supplies in good condition. Before you leave, check your supplies twice. Locals recommend at least 10 liters of water per person, and enough fuel for double your planned distance, just in case. One seasoned traveler recalls, "I always pack for an extra 2 days, no matter how short the trip. You never know what the outback will throw at you." There's no popping out for milk. Every journey is planned with military precision. Locals warn against trusting GPS blindly. Tracks can disappear, and detours can add hundreds of kilometers. One wrong turn, and you could be facing days in the heat. The landscape demands respect, and self-reliance is non-negotiable. Temperatures can soar above 45 degrees Celsius, and shade is rare. Dehydration and heat stroke are real threats. Locals say, if you break down, stay with your vehicle. It's your best chance of being found. Community is tiny but vital. Everyone shares information, resources, and a sense of responsibility. There are stories of locals driving hours just to help a stranger with a flat tire or empty tank. The Outback Code: you never leave anyone behind. Inaminka is beautiful, historic, and brutally honest about the risks of outback life. Every sunset here is earned. Around the campfire, you'll hear tales of close calls and lucky rescues, reminders that preparation and community are everything. Here, survival is a team sport. Knowing how to fix a flat, patch a radiator, or signal for help can make all the difference. Locals often run informal workshops for visitors, sharing hard-earned knowledge that could save a life. The outback never lets you forget it. Sudden storms, flash floods, and searing heat can turn a routine drive into a fight for survival. Locals say, if you see clouds building, don't risk the creek crossings. Wait it out. So, if you're heading this way, remember, preparation isn't just smart, it's essential. Listen to the locals, respect the land, and never underestimate the distance. Next stop, a town with a ghostly secret. Welcome to Boulia, Queensland, where isolation comes with a twist, and the land itself seems to breathe with secrets. This is a place shaped by water and wonder, where history and legend are as much a part of the landscape as the red earth itself. The town sits in Channel Country, a vast network of ancient riverbeds that have shaped life here for thousands of years. When the rains finally arrive, they transform the landscape. Roads vanish beneath swirling floodwaters, and Boulia can be cut off for weeks at a time. Floods have been both a curse and a blessing, bringing life to the parched land but also hardship to those who call it home. Residents stock up, share resources, and wait out the floods together. Community resilience at its finest. The isolation brings people closer, forging bonds that last a lifetime. For generations, both indigenous and settler communities have adapted to the cycles of flood and drought, learning to read the land and the sky. But Boulia is also famous for the mysterious Min lights, strange floating orbs that have baffled locals and travelers for over a century. These lights appear suddenly, gliding silently across the plains, sometimes following vehicles or vanishing when approached. The first recorded sighting by Europeans dates back to 1918, but Aboriginal stories of the lights go back much further. Are they ghosts, UFOs, or just a trick of the light? No one knows, but everyone has a story. Some say the lights are the spirits of lost travelers. Others believe they're a natural phenomenon science can't yet explain. Over the years, scientists have suggested explanations ranging from atmospheric refraction to bioluminescent insects, but the mystery endures. Local myths run deep here. Aboriginal stories speak of the Min as warning spirits, guardians of sacred places, or omens for those who stray from the right path. Outback folklore is filled with tales of travelers led astray by the lights, never to return. These stories are passed down through generations, blending cautionary tales with the unexplained. The nearest major town is 300 kilometers away, the hospital even further. When the floods come, the only way in or out might be by air. For much of its history, Boulia has relied on ingenuity and determination to survive the isolation. Here, a broken arm is a major event, not a quick trip to the ER. The Royal Flying Doctor Service is a lifeline, swooping in when help is needed most. Medical emergencies have always been a challenge, but the community's resourcefulness and the dedication of services like the RFDS have saved countless lives. Life demands toughness and a sense of humor, especially during the annual camel races, where the whole region gathers for dusty, chaotic fun. It's a chance to forget the floods and the mysteries and just celebrate. The races began as a quirky local event and have grown into a beloved tradition, drawing visitors from across the outback. Boulia proves that even in the most remote places, people find ways to connect, celebrate, and keep the legends alive. The stories of floods and lights are passed down, growing with each retelling. Community events are a vital part of life here, weaving together old traditions and new memories. It's a town with grit, mystery, and a big outback heart. Every building, every face, has a story shaped by the land and its legends. The history of Boulia is written in its weathered walls and in the resilience of its people. And it's just one more example of how isolation breeds creativity. Art, music, and stories flourish here, inspired by the floods and the unexplained. The Min lights have inspired everything from paintings to poems, and the floods have shaped the rhythms of daily life and celebration. On to the endless plain. Let's go. In Boulia, the past and present flow together, like the floodwaters, like the lights, leaving stories that shimmer on the horizon. The Nalaba Plain, Latin for no trees, is a vast, flat expanse stretching over 200 kilometers. Out here, the land feels endless, and the sky seems to swallow you whole. The sun beats down relentlessly, and the wind never seems to stop, carrying dust and the scent of dry earth for miles. Crossing it is hypnotic, just you, the road, and a horizon that never gets closer. The heat can be punishing, and the monotony sets in quickly. Many travelers describe a strange sense of freedom, mixed with unease, as the landscape blurs into a shimmering mirage. The silence is broken only by the hum of tires and the occasional crackle of static on the radio. Tiny settlements like Eucla and Border Village exist solely to support travelers. Locals recall nights when a single car might be the only sign of life for hours. For those who call this place home, daily life is a test of patience and resourcefulness. Watering a few stubborn vegetables, checking fuel tanks, and scanning the horizon for dust trails. These are the routines that keep life moving. Isolation here is absolute. At night, the silence is so deep it's almost physical, and the stars are blinding. One traveler said, "It's like floating in space, with only the universe for company." For locals, evenings are spent swapping stories, listening for distant engines, and finding comfort in the routines of family and friends. Phone coverage? Forget it. You're truly on your own. If your car breaks down, help could be hours or even days away. Locals keep emergency supplies in their vehicles and always let someone know when they're heading out, a habit learned from hard experience. Eucla's old telegraph station, slowly swallowed by sand, is a haunting reminder of nature's power. Locals tell stories of storms that can erase tracks overnight and winds that howl like ghosts. One resident remembers waking to find their front door buried, the world outside transformed by a single night's fury. Roadhouse staff form a tight, temporary family, serving a parade of nomads and truckies before they vanish into the vastness. "We look out for each other," says one worker, "because out here, you have to." Each day begins before sunrise, with chores that never end, cleaning, cooking, fixing, and always preparing for the next traveler in need. Life here is stripped to essentials: fuel, food, and the open road. Water is precious, and every supply run is a lifeline. Locals plan weeks ahead, making do with what they have, and sharing when someone's in need. The Nullarbor is a test of endurance and a celebration of solitude. Some find peace in the emptiness, others a challenge to their very spirit. For children growing up here, the land is both playground and teacher, teaching patience, resilience, and respect for the wild. It's living on the edge of everything, and in the middle of nothing. The smallest comforts become treasures, and every face is a welcome sight. A cup of tea at sunset, a friendly wave from a passing truck, or the rare arrival of mail. These moments are cherished. Only the toughest thrive here. Locals and travelers alike share a bond forged by the land's harsh lessons and rare rewards. One woman recalls breaking down in the heat, rescued hours later by a stranger who became a lifelong friend. Out here, resilience isn't just a trait, it's a way of life. Next, the hottest town in the country, where survival means adapting to extremes, and every day is a story of endurance. Welcome to Marble Bar, Western Australia, the hottest town in the country, and a place where the sun's reputation is legendary. Here, the climate is as relentless as it is iconic. Marble Bar sits in the heart of the Pilbara, where summer temperatures regularly soar above 40 degrees Celsius, and the air shimmers with heat for months on end. Marble Bar holds the world record for the longest heat wave. From October 1923 to April 1924, it endured 160 consecutive days above 37.8 degrees Celsius, or 100 degrees Celsius. Even today, summer heat waves are routine, and the town's name is synonymous with scorching weather. The town's origins trace back to the gold rush of the 1890s, when fortune seekers braved the heat for a shot at riches. Early residents quickly learned that survival here meant adapting to the extremes. Today, high wages from mining still lure people willing to trade comfort for cash. As one miner puts it, "You don't come here for the weather, you come for the pay packet." Locals have developed their own ways to cope. Wide-brimmed hats, long sleeves, and a constant supply of water are essential. The town is basic: a pub, a store, a petrol station, and not much else. But for many, that's enough. Air conditioning is a lifeline, and most homes and businesses run their units around the clock during the hottest months. Most come to work, save, and leave, but some stay, forged by the relentless heat. Locals tell tales of eggs frying on car bonnets and shoes melting on the pavement. Community pools and shaded verandas become gathering spots, and everyone knows to avoid the midday sun. The name Marble Bar is a misnomer. The colorful rock is actually jasper, not marble. Geologists say the jasper formed over 3 billion years ago, making it some of the oldest rock on Earth. School groups and visitors marvel at the ancient landscape, a reminder of the town's unique place in geological history. When the river flows, it's a rare splash of beauty in a harsh land. Residents celebrate these moments, as water is precious here. Community events often spring up around these rare river days, with barbecues and swimming parties bringing everyone together. Here the heat dictates everything: work early, hide indoors midday, and battle the elements daily. Residents use reflective window coverings, build shaded outdoor spaces, and even bury water pipes to keep them cool. Scientists study Marble Bar to understand how humans adapt to extreme environments, and the town has become a living laboratory for heat resilience. It's a place for the resilient, where survival is a badge of honor. Community spirit runs deep, with locals supporting each other through the toughest days. Events like the Marble Bar races and the annual picnic bring everyone together, celebrating endurance and camaraderie. Even in the toughest places there's beauty, if you know where to look. After rain, wildflowers burst from the red earth, transforming the landscape. Locals cherish these fleeting displays, and wildflower walks become a highlight of the year. Marble Bar is proof that outback spirit is as tough as the land itself. Artists and storytellers find inspiration in its extremes, capturing the colors and stories of a place where survival is an art form. Marble Bar's story is one of endurance, adaptation, and pride. From record-breaking heat waves to ingenious ways of coping, the people here have made the impossible seem ordinary. Now let's visit a town that vanished. Onward. Wittenoom, Western Australia, a town erased from the map. But its story began with hope, ambition, and the promise of prosperity in one of the country's most remote regions. In the 1940s, as Australia sought to fuel post-war growth, Wittenoom was founded as an asbestos mining town. The government and private companies promised jobs, modern homes, and a thriving community in the heart of the Pilbara. People arrived from across the country, drawn by the lure of steady work and a new beginning. Families settled in, building lives and memories. Children played in the streets, rode bikes through clouds of blue dust, and celebrated birthdays in the town square. The community thrived, unaware that the very dust that coated their homes and playgrounds was deadly. By the 1970s, the truth could no longer be ignored. Mesothelioma, asbestosis, and other deadly diseases began to claim hundreds of lives. The hospital filled with patients, and the community was gripped by fear and grief. Survivors remember friends and family lost, and the slow realization that their home was poisoning them. The government responded by shutting down the mine, cutting off power, and eventually removing Wittenoom from official maps in 2007. But for many, the damage was already done. Some residents fought for recognition and justice, their voices echoing in courtrooms and on the nightly news, demanding answers and compensation for lives forever changed. Yet a handful of residents refused to leave, clinging to their homes despite the danger. For some, it was loyalty to the land and the memories it held. For others, there was simply nowhere else to go. Their determination became a quiet act of defiance against the forces that had failed them. Today, Wittenoom is a ghost town. Empty houses, abandoned schools, and warning signs at every turn. The legacy of asbestos lingers in the soil, in the crumbling buildings, and in the memories of those who once called it home. The cemetery is a chilling reminder of the cost of industrial neglect. Here lie families who never left, even in death. The wind whispers through the weeds, carrying stories of love, loss, and resilience. The last resident has finally left, but the story lingers in the silence. Personal belongings remain, silent witnesses to lives interrupted, dreams abandoned, and a community erased. Visiting Wittenoom is haunting, a silent memorial to tragedy and resilience. Local historians and former residents work to preserve its memory, sharing stories so that the lessons of Wittenoom are never forgotten, even as nature slowly reclaims the land. Wittenoom is a place that should never have existed, but its lesson endures. The scars left behind warn future generations about the dangers of unchecked industry and the human cost of ignoring warnings. Some places are too dangerous to save. Cleanup efforts continue, but the risk remains, and the land itself is marked by tragedy. Wittenoom's chapter is closed, but its aftermath is felt across Australia. The pain, the lessons, and the memories endure, etched into the red earth and the hearts of those who remember. Next, the loneliest job in Australia. Giles Weather Station, Western Australia, possibly the most isolated workplace in the country. Here, the horizon stretches forever, and the nearest neighbour is hundreds of kilometres away. No town, just a meteorological outpost, closer to Uluru than Perth. The silence is so deep, you can hear the wind change direction. 4 staff live here at a time, rotating every 6 months. Each arrival is a reunion and a farewell to the outside world. Their job: launch weather balloons twice daily, collecting data vital for national forecasts. Every reading matters, especially when storms threaten faraway cities. The climate is brutal: scorching summers, freezing winters, dust storms, and endless flies. The environment tests you every day. Supplies arrive by truck every 3 months. Between runs, it's canned food and rationing. Fresh fruit is a luxury, and every delivery is an event. Social life? Just you and 3 colleagues, no escape, no visitors. The station becomes your world. It's a pressure cooker, demanding discipline and adaptability. Some days the silence is comforting, other days it's overwhelming. The work is essential, but the isolation is total. For some, it's a chance to reflect. For others, it's a daily challenge. While we check weather apps, these 4 keep the country informed from the heart of nowhere. Their accuracy can save lives. Giles is a testament to the hidden effort behind our daily lives. Every reading, every repair, every long night matters. It's the ultimate outback posting. The reward? Sunrises that belong only to you and your team. And it's not for the faint-hearted. The desert demands resilience and gives perspective in return. A typical day starts before sunrise. The team gathers for a quick breakfast, instant coffee, toast, and a briefing on the day's weather patterns. Laughter is a survival tool. Each person has a role. One launches the balloon, another logs the data, while others maintain the equipment and keep the station running. Teamwork is everything. "You have to be self-reliant out here," says Sarah, a meteorologist, on her second posting. "If something breaks, you fix it. If you're feeling down, you talk it out with the team. There's nowhere else to go." She recalls a time when a generator failed during a storm, and the team worked through the night to restore power, bonded by necessity and trust. Contact with the outside world is limited to satellite internet. Calls home are precious, but the connection is never guaranteed. Letters and emails become lifelines. In their downtime, staff exercise, read, or play cards. Some pick up new hobbies: painting, writing, or learning guitar. Small routines become lifelines in the vast silence. Maintenance is constant. Generators, solar panels, and water tanks all need attention. There's no one else to call for help. Every skill is put to the test. Yet there are moments of awe, watching a storm roll in, or the desert sky ablaze with stars, far from any city lights. Tom remembers the first time he saw the Milky Way stretch from horizon to horizon. It made the loneliness feel small. "It's tough, but it's rewarding," says Tom, the station's technician. "You learn what you're made of out here." He shares how the team celebrated a birthday with a cake made from rationed ingredients, a small victory in a big landscape. For those who take on the loneliest job in the world, camaraderie and resilience are as vital as the data they collect. In the end, it's not just about weather, it's about weathering life, together, at the edge of the world. From Coober Pedy underground dugouts to the silent, haunting streets of Wittenoom, the outback is a place where resilience is woven into daily life. Here, families dig deep, literally and figuratively, to create shelter from the searing heat, and neighbors band together when the odds seem insurmountable. Australia's most isolated towns are living museums of adaptability, where every day brings a new challenge and a new solution. When the only schoolteacher falls ill, a parent steps in to teach. When the power goes out, the community rallies to keep the lights on and the fridges running. Here, people don't just survive. They innovate, build community, and support each other through thick and thin. When bushfires threaten, volunteer firefighters, often friends and family, stand shoulder to shoulder to protect what matters most. After a cyclone, neighbors rebuild homes and hearts together. Distance is measured not just in kilometers, but in the strength of the connections people forge across the vast red land. A mail plane's arrival is a lifeline, bringing not just parcels, but news, hope, and a sense of belonging. Convenience is a rare luxury, fuel for the next town, a precious delivery of mail, or a long-awaited visit from a friend. When the roads wash out, locals use boats or even horses to get supplies to those in need. When the power fails, stories and laughter fill the darkness. Community is the handful of people you trust with your life, the ones who show up when disaster strikes, and who celebrate every small victory together. Festivals, fundraisers, and even simple shared meals become lifelines of hope and joy. It's a raw, fundamental way of living that puts our own first-world problems in perspective. The folks in Birdsville, Boulia, and Marble Bar are the tough, resilient heart of this vast continent. When the going gets tough, they get creative, hosting charity races for drought relief, or opening their doors to travelers in need. Their stories, of rebuilding after floods, of teaching the next generation, of keeping ancient traditions alive. Remind us what people are capable of when they have to be. From indigenous elders passing on wisdom, to artists and children restoring the land, hope is always growing, even in the harshest conditions. In the heart of the outback, resilience isn't just a word, it's a way of life. Through drought, fire, flood, and isolation, these communities rise again and again, fueled by hope, ingenuity, and the unbreakable bonds of community. Their stories inspire us all to face our own challenges with courage and hope. As we close this journey across Australia's most isolated towns, we're reminded that the outback is more than just a place. It's a testament to the human spirit. These hidden gems shine with a resilience and uniqueness found nowhere else on Earth. If you've been inspired by these stories, take a moment to reflect on your own experiences of community and perseverance, or share your outback story in the comments below. Let's celebrate the strength, ingenuity, and heart that make the outback and its people truly unforgettable. Thanks for watching, and keep the spirit of resilience